After wrapping up campaigning in the states of Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, the Prime Minister, as you can see, in Jharkhand, he's visiting the Birsa Munda Museum in Ranchi as we speak. I'm going to stay silent for a second so you can hear the details being said by the announcer right now.
जो उनको है श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित किए हैं, माल्यार्पण किया है और वो बैरक भी प्रधानमंत्री जा रहे हैं जहां पर कि बिरसा मुंडा को अंग्रेजों ने रखा था और वहीं पर उन्होंने अंतिम सांसें ली थी। तो प्रधानमंत्री देख सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से उनके जो योगदान है उसको नजदीक से देखना चाहते हैं और उनके जो परिवार के लोग हैं वो जो जिस इलाके से आते हैं उस इलाके को प्रधानमंत्री नजदीक से देखना चाहते हैं। इसलिए प्रधानमंत्री म्यूजियम में ये दोनों कार्यक्रम और बाकायदा जो यहाँ पर किस तरीके से ये म्यूजियम बनाया गया है, कैसे यहाँ पे लाइट साउंड शो चलता है और भी जो दूसरे योद्धा है उन सभी की यहाँ पर जो है वो आदमकद प्रतिमा लगाई गई है। सभी को प्रधानमंत्री नमन करेंगे, सबको अभी पुष्पांजलि प्रधानमंत्री अर्पित कर रहे हैं। तो इस तरीके से प्रधानमंत्री इसको नजदीक से जाकर अनुभव भी कर रहे हैं और वहां पर श्रद्धासुमन अर्पित कर रहे हैं। इसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री यहाँ से बिरसा मुंडा की जन्मस्थली कुलिहातू जाएंगे जो खूंटी जिला मुख्यालय है, वहां से करीब 35 किलोमीटर दूर है। तो वहां पहले प्रधानमंत्री होंगे नरेंद्र मोदी जो उनको श्रद्धासुमन अर्पित करने के लिए उनके उस जगह पर जा रहे हैं जहां पर उन्होंने जन्म लिया था, जहां पर वो पैदा हुए थे और वहां पर बाकायदा उनके वंशजों से मुलाकात करेंगे और वहां पर भी एक आदमकद प्रतिमा बनाई गई है। उस प्रतिमा पर भी प्रधानमंत्री श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करेंगे और उसके बाद उनके वंशजों से संवाद करेंगे। तो वंशज काफी उत्साहित है उनके, लगातार हम लोग पिछले कई दिनों से इस चीजों को दिखा रहे हैं कि किस तरीके से उत्सव का माहौल है। प्रधानमंत्री के आने को लेकर लोगों में इंतजार है कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जब यहाँ पहुंचेंगे तो किस तरीके से उनका वेलकम किया जाए। ट्रेडिशनल तरीके से वेलकम करने की वहाँ तैयारी की गई है। उनके वंशज ट्रेडिशनल ड्रेस तो पहनते ही हैं लेकिन उसमें भी आज एक और रंग देखने को मिलेगा कि किस तरीके से प्रधानमंत्री को वेलकम करने के लिए वो तैयार है। उसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री
let's go with my colleague Payal right now to understand more about this visit. Payal, let me just tell our audiences, Birsa Munda, a tribal activist who fought for the country's freedom. This entire visit is going to be focused on honoring tribals. We're going to see the launching of a 24,000 crore mission in Jharkhand too. Can you just tell our audiences, Payal, more about what's planned? Also keeping an eye obviously on elections in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh where the tribal communities are of course of particular importance.
Yes, it's a very, very significant development that is coming to the fore given the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi becomes the first Prime Minister in the history of the country to have visited the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Remember, in 2021, the Narendra Modi-led cabinet had actually made an announcement that yes, Birsa Munda's birth anniversary will be celebrated as Jan Jatiya Divas. And since then, the celebration has really happened. The Prime Minister over there, of course, examining what's happening at the museum, etc. And in his Independence Day speech in 2016, he had also emphasized that the role played by the tribal freedom fighters in India's freedom struggle would also have to be honored, and that's the reason building museums, dedicating it to the memory of the brave tribal freedom fighters was very, very important so that coming generations can know about the sacrifices for the country. So, yeah.
Can you tell us more about the program, Payal? Let me just tell our audiences it's going to target 75 vulnerable tribal communities across 18 states. But what makes this program so special? Because it's been called the first of its kind.
Yes, like I said, that this is the first time that a Prime Minister, in fact, is visiting the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda, who is said to be the epitome as far as the tribal freedom fighters are concerned, and the freedom fighters' contribution is really concerned. And today, in a major step towards, showing off the welfare schemes of the government, the Prime Minister will be launching what they call as the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, which is, of course, being launched from Khunti, which is the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. And the Prime Minister will be flagging off 5 specifically designed IEC, that is Information, Education and Communication vans, that will be actually marking the launch of this mass recharge program, where of course you will be, it's going to be graced by chief ministers, dignitaries, governors, etc. from all over the country, across 68 districts on the country with significant tribal population. And of course, this is the constant endeavor of the government to in fact tell the people and reach to all the targeted beneficiaries, in a time-bound manner. And the Yatra will be reaching out to people and creating awareness and providing benefits of welfare schemes like sanitation facilities, essential financial services, electricity connections, access to LPG cylinders, housing for the poor, food security, proper nutrition, reliable healthcare, clean drinking water, amongst the others.
Okay, Payal, can I ask you to stay with us? Let's listen in to the audio, the commentary being provided right now with this footage. Take a look.
फिट बैठता है कि वो जो एक होना चाहिए कि देश के विकास में हर किसी की भूमिका होनी चाहिए, हर किसी का योगदान होना चाहिए और विकास की जो अलग देश में जगह है उसमें कोई पीछे नहीं छूटे, सबको बराबर समानता का अधिकार मिले। तो इन सब बिंदुओं पर भी प्रधानमंत्री का फोकस है और उसे हम मान सकते हैं कि आज जो स्कीम्स वहां पर लॉन्च हो रही हैं उसके जरिए ये जो प्रधानमंत्री की परिकल्पना है और ये जो संकल्प है वो भी पूरा होता दिख रहा है। जी
निश्चित तौर पर दिवाकर, जैसा कि आपने बताया कि ये एक विकसित भारत संकल्प यात्रा जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं एक विकसित भारत, आत्मनिर्भर भारत की एक महत्वपूर्ण कड़ी के रूप में हमारे सामने आएगा।
Okay, let's go back to my colleague Payal right now to understand more. Payal, if we could now, since we've spoken about Jharkhand, I do also want to touch on campaigning that's going on in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and why the tribal seats matter so much, why the BJP and the Congress are both trying to reach out to these communities.
Yes, the tribal population is extremely significant, especially in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, amongst the others, given the fact that the Narendra Modi-led government has worked towards the welfare of every strata of society and the tribals as well. Declaring the Janjatiya Divas, honoring the contributions of the tribal leaders, the fact that several tribal leaders are also part of the Narendra Modi government, whether it is Kiran Rijiju from the northeast or Arjun Minda being made the tribal minister, all of these things are extremely significant in that respect as well. And the Modi government will say that they work towards every strata of society. This reach out program becomes extremely important. Right from creating awareness about the sickle cell anemia project, which is of course one of the flagship projects of the government and very, very close to the Prime Minister's heart. So also the fact that the extremely backward classes, the tribal classes have been deprived of basic amenities of life, through these many years. But this government has focused on that and specifically plans to reach out to probably 68 districts, like I said, across the entire country, and probably by January 2024, when the program culminates, they would have reached out to every nook and corner of the country. So, tribal population, their welfare, their well-being is something that the Modi government has also spoken about. It was a very significant move, like I said, in 2021 by the Narendra Modi-led cabinet, just around the same time, which is of course on the 15th of November, and that is when the first Janjatiya Gaurav Divas was observed, and it was decided that every year this day would be observed. So obviously, not just words, but action is also something which really matters, and it is also politically very significant because Prime Minister Narendra Modi today is present at the birthplace of, Bhagwan Birsa Munda, somebody who is referred not only across Jharkhand, who was said to be the father of the land. That's the title which was given to him, by the people for whom he really fought all his life. And, all of these things are documented in that museum that the Prime Minister is, again, looking at. Okay. And that is something also which the government has really been speaking about. So it tells you that, yes, we are focusing on the welfare of every strata of society, and the Prime Minister has often spoken about the Antodaya, which is of course the welfare of the last man standing in the in the line, and that continues to be the focus with 9 years running, and of course the big 2024 elections looking up in the next few months.
Okay, Payal, thank you for bringing us those details. Elections, as we're telling you, taking place in 5 states across the country: Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Mizoram. And it's important to point out to you that it's in these states that the BJP faced huge setbacks back in 2018. They're hoping to change their fate. It's time for a short break. On the other side, more of the country's top stories. We'll keep an eye particularly on political ones. We'll see you in just a few minutes.